Alright, what is up everybody? Coming back at you today with another video on the channel. And I've got another really cool knife today. This one is fairly new and still fairly exclusive, as in it's pretty hard to get. They are currently sold out. This was the second drop and I'm absolutely sure there will be more. If you're familiar and you know what this box means, obviously it's a Microtech, but this is a special Microtech. So this is the second knife in this line that Microtech has done, and this is a collaboration with Reich Knife in China. So what they've done is they've had Reich Knife manufacture these knives, and I know on the SOCOM Bravo they had the parts shipped here, then they sharpened and assembled them in-house. I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't know if they said on this knife. Either way, they're made in China. You know, a lot of people hate on Microtech for that. I don't really hate them for that. You know, they still have their American manufacturing plant. They still make all their other knives here. They're expanding the market, and they're keeping up with the times. I'm sure they're making a lot of money off these, and sometimes you have to do things like this, you know, to keep afloat, especially in the current economy. Anyways, let's look at what we got here. This is the anax single edge titanium handle bead blast. This is partial serrated. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. We got the bronze titanium pivot collars. It comes in bronze and blue. I had a SOCOM Bravo, had the blue. I really wanted the bronze. Carbon fiber inlay. Let's get into it here. Caution sharp edge. They are still inspecting them, of course. Take a real quick look at your pamphlet. Oh, that's how you open it. And take a quick look at what we get. So, something really cool they've done here, they have included hardware tools. So Microtech is known for the proprietary hardware, and they have included the tools. They give you a big one for the pivot, and they give you a small one for your clip, lock bar, stabilizer, lock bar insert, and for your stop pin. This is a full integral knife, so it does not come apart. Also, they included 2 lanyards. I don't know what they were thinking with this, what the idea behind it was. You know, I think we know what they look like here. But this is like steel wire. Are these are either titanium or aluminum. They're not magnetic. Is any of it magnetic? No, none of it's magnetic. But the way these work is, we'll use the butt plug version. You just screw them right on into the bottom here, and now you've got a Hornet. I mean, and when you put this in your pocket, this is just sticking straight up out of it. It makes no sense. You know, I don't use lanyards, but I absolutely won't use those. But that's everything you get in the box. So they include a lot of stuff with this knife. And here is the knife. Now, this version runs $455. Their SOCOM Bravos ran about $350. But this being a full integral knife, I can understand that price increase. So what do we get here? Boom. Check out your Microtech billboarding. This was made in September of 2022. Today's September like 16th. So they have to be doing this laser etching in-house. They have to be doing that. There's no way this got from China. I ordered it on like the 10th, and I've had it for a day or two now. There's just no way this came from China, you know, in a few days. So I'm thinking they are doing that in-house, which that would make sense. check out the blade. This is partial serrated, and the reason I went with partial serrated is I wanted the bronze pivot collars and lock bar stabilizer. Like I said, I had the blue SOCOM Bravo, and if I got the blue collars, I was going to get the hand rubbed satin, but that was sold out. So it's either blue plain edge or bronze with serrated, so I went serrated. I actually don't have any serrated knives, and there's been a time or two where I'm like, man, I wish I had some serrations to cut through this. So, you know, I don't hate it. I think it looks pretty mean, honestly. So M390 blade steel. This is the bead blast finish, same as the SOCOM Bravo. I do have a hand satin option for this. You can see the M390 there. Full titanium integral handle here, very nicely machined, and you can see there's kind of like a wave pattern in the actual handle itself. So that's for ergonomics, so that's made that much more difficult. And then this carbon fiber insert follows the wave as well. So Reich really went above and beyond on these, in my opinion. It is an expensive knife, but for everything you're getting here, I could see them charging more, to be honest, and they would still sell out. You get these cool dimples back here, matching on the clip. Proprietary pivot hardware. This is a captured pivot, so if you go to unscrew the pivot, do it from the clip side. We get a steel lock bar insert, and where it's an integral knife, it's on the outside. Works just the same. You do get a lock bar stabilizer, which is cool. Now on this pocket clip, you know, a lot of times you'll see these roller balls, and a lot of people say they don't like these. I really like the look. Now this particular one, if you can hear, it actually rolls. So when you put it in your pocket, it's actually rolling. And what's even cooler, it only rolls one way. It only rolls up and down. Well, I'll take that back. I was rolling it the other day. I guess it's loosened up since I've used it. It does roll freely in there. I guess that wouldn't make sense. But yeah, full titanium. This is running on ceramic caged ball bearings. And I do believe we have a ceramic detent as well. So deployment on this guy, it's designed as a front flipper. I saw one video and the guy was like, I bet you could even front flip this thing. It's like, well, yeah, that's kind of how it was designed, so I bet you could. Now, there are some complaints on this jimping, and I feel that it's a little on the rough side. Or this is a hard use tactical knife, not really hard use, but a tactical knife. You know, they wanted to make sure you could get it open, and I guess that makes sense. But the main form of deployment here is this big deployment choil. And I am a lefty, as you all may know. I'm kind of ambidextrous. I do a lot of right hand flipping as well. I can flip just as good with my right hand as my left hand. I just carry in my left pocket. But the way this one's set up, normally as a lefty, I'll show you on this knife. I put my thumb on the clip so it's not on the lock bar, and that's how I'm able to left hand flick my knives. And I'll show you on my Axons. You can really see this has a tall clip. Put my thumb on the clip here and reverse flick it. This knife, you cannot have your thumb on the clip and flick it. It just doesn't work. Now, what I've been doing though is I'm just putting my thumb right here, kind of on the back half, and it's so far down, it's working really well for me. So that's awesome. If you're a lefty, you shouldn't have any issues. I do have pretty big hands, so I don't know if smaller hands would make that more difficult or not. What's funny though is right-handed flick, it's got a little bit of a lighter detent. The detent's on the light side. But when I lefty flick it and I put just a little bit of pressure down here, it stiffens that detent up enough to where it feels really good to left-hand flick it. And I just thought that was kind of ironic that being a lefty, made something better for once. Maybe the first time in my life. But it puts just a little bit of pressure on that lock bar to give me a really solid reverse flick. And so that's pretty cool. Now thumb flick, you can see where it comes up. I can put my thumb there and flick it out that way. You can kind of come out here and flick it. It's a little awkward though, but up here, it's a little more of a natural grip and you can flick it out. The front flipper worked decently as a front flipper. You can see on like my mini Tempest here how far up. That's a true front flipper. You see where this tab sticks way up, and that front flip's super easy. This one, they got the tab pretty high, but it's not sticking over, so it's a little bit harder, but it still feels pretty natural. On the blade spine here, you can see that is crowned. You've got this jimping when it's open. That jimping's back there. That meets up with this jimping. So we're jimped up back there. And then right here, though, they put this finer jimping, a little bit smaller. That is very well placed. A lot of times they'll put jimping. Yeah, this is a front flipper too, but right there on the spine. And I never really hold my knife right there. But this, they moved it up to right here, and my thumb falls right on that. So they put a lot of thought into that, and I do really like that. I think that's a good move. It's not as good as like the F5.5 jimping or the Ace Grand jimping that's up here, but they are moving in that direction. Ergonomics on this knife are fantastic. You know, like I said, I have large hands, and this is a pretty thin handle. Some people complain about that, but the ergonomics are fantastic. It really fits in the hand. You can get a good grip on it. You can get a good reverse grip as well, and you got a place you can put your thumb for when you're stabbing people, which I'm sure most of us do almost daily. No worries there. Left-handed, it works just as good, even with the you know, peaks and valleys going on there. And this is a large knife overall. You compare it with an axe on here, it's much bigger. It's 9.3 inches. Let's put it on the ruler. There we go. No, it's like 8 3/4, like 8 3/4 and over 10 with the lanyard. Blade length is like 3.75, I think. Yep. Depending on where you're measuring from, could be up to 4 inches. They've got a sharpening choil here. This is really not a finger choil. I guess you could first knuckle it. But the end of your blade isn't too far from the start of the grip, so haven't felt the need to do that. Action, very nice. Some people said their pivots were super Loctited. Mine was not. It broke free right away with no heat. I was just kind of testing it out, and it popped free. So I was able to adjust that. It is guillotine to the thumb and then drop shut with no blade play. It came a little tight. When it came, I could press the lock bar and it wouldn't move. So I played with it some, and then I loosened it and, you know, just played with it a little bit, and I got the action where I like it here. So that's one thing about these knives, and with the SOCOM Bravo as well. Fantastic action with that ball bearing system. I think on the Bravo they had like a dual row ball bearings. These are just one row, but there's quite a few balls in there, if I'm not mistaken. But overall, they've made a fantastic little knife here. I really enjoy playing with this. It's very aesthetically pleasing. As a matter of fact, the second I saw the video released for this, I was like, yeah, I'll have one. So my SOCOM Bravo I ended up selling, where it was a thumb flipper, thumb stud flipper, and that just didn't have all the fidget factor for me. Nowadays my collection is slowly turning into reverse flick only knives. because that's just what I enjoy. I'm a fidgeter. My knives don't see a ton of cutting use, but they surely get broken in getting fidgeted with. I need to get some fidget toys, they're much cheaper. But yeah, they've just done a great job on this knife. It's a big knife overall, but closed. It hides that big blade really well, and it's not super tall. My only complaint is that light detent. If they would stiffen that detent up a little bit, I would be extremely happy. And I think they've done that though, so you can actually front flip it. They should have known the majority of the people that buy this want to reverse flick it, I would think. Do a quick cut test here. The top single edge part is plenty sharp enough for me. Plenty sharp, no complaints. Use that. And you know, people talk about serrations, but look, I'm not trying to line it up. I'm just hitting it with the serrations, and it slices paper just great. It falls into a groove and just slices right through it. Serrations are very sharp. I don't know why people hate on serrations so much. Maybe the look. The only downside with the serrations is right-handed. If I drop the knife fast, that last serration will hit my thumb, and it kind of hurts. But I have that problem on knives anyways. Like, you know, if I hit this one and it falls straight down, the corner hits my thumb there. So I don't know if it would do that without the serrations, but I know it does it with them, so that's the only downside. But I'm pretty good at dodging. I'm getting my thumb out of the way there, and I am a lefty, so most of the time I do that anyways. But yeah, they killed this one. I'm a big fan. This is maybe one to buy another SOCOM Bravo. I've seen some retailers get the SOCOM Bravos now, so that's cool. Maybe they'll start shipping them to retailers. I bought this from Microtech Gear, and it was an okay experience. The shipping was ridiculously expensive. It was like $10 for UPS ground or USPS ground 5-day. I paid $40 for UPS 2-day air. Or on like USA made blade, I get UPS next day priority for $18. And I always do that. Shout out USA made blade. But anyways, check out like DLT, and I think E-Knives has some SOCOM Bravos. I will say I'm not a fan of E-Knives because they were reselling these at $6.50. I was looking for one, and I found E-Knives had it for $6.50. I was like, that's a little shady in my opinion. So probably won't be buying from them. But yeah, overall, fantastic knife. Good job, Microtech. I'll definitely be carrying this one. So I appreciate you guys watching. Check out some of my other videos. Got more content always coming. Appreciate you watching. Have a great day.